It was a year after I dropped out of college. People tell you those celebrities and CEOs who dropped out and made it big, but they don't tell you how time, connections, and a whole lot of luck figure in their success. My name's Wade. It was around 6 months after dropping out that I began regretting my decision. Nobody would hire me. Nobody cared how good I was. I ran out of money, got kicked out of my apartment, so I started flipping burgers for McDonald's. I had to make a living somehow. The brilliant code, my algorithm, all the hard work I put into my project got pushed to the side. Until one day, a familiar face ordered a double cheeseburger with no pickles and a Sprite. That was always Chelsea's order, and I looked up not to find my cute girlfriend from middle school, but a grown woman who was so beautiful I dropped the burger I was holding and spilled the Sprite all over the floor. "Nice to see you too," she smiled, and it was as if I was back in my childhood again, sitting on the swings and living my carefree life. Chelsea, I didn't know you were back in town. It's really nice to see you. Sorry, I'll get you another double cheeseburger right away." "Nah, I'll skip it. I didn't come here for that anyway. I came to see you. I heard when you dropped out, you were working on something life-changing. Here's 10 grand. Quit your job right here, right now, and come with me. I've got a job for you." She slapped a wad of cash on the counter, and my coworkers' eyes bulged out of their heads at the sight of that much money. I walked straight into my supervisor's office and told her I wasn't coming back. That was how our company began. Chelsea and I were equal partners. I would develop the software, and she would fund me. I spent 3 months of working non-stop. Our office was a corner in my mom's garage. I worked tirelessly developing the project that I had left behind. It took 3 months. Then I hit a breakthrough. I had managed to develop an AI that could learn how to match people to their soulmates at the touch of a button. It was going to revolutionize online dating. That was when our company was propelled to new heights. Everyone was clamoring for the chance to invest. I was really grateful for Chelsea for believing in me. But it turned out we worked in completely different ways. Chelsea was more the face of the company. It seemed like she preferred networking with investors and meeting millionaires and billionaires so she could try and get them to invest. Meanwhile, I was the one spending countless sleepless nights making sure the code was top-notch. She promised me we would both be CEOs, but as soon as our company grew, she forgot about that. I tried to bring it up with her one time, but she just dismissed me. "2 CEOs? It would just confuse the investors. Just do what you do best and be the chief operating officer. You're so good at that. Anyway, I provide the funding. I own the company. It's mine. You're just the loser nerd who does the work." That hurt. But I kept my head down. Like I said, I owed her. And there was something else. All these years, I never really forgot about Chelsea. I had always continued to love her even after we broke up. But now that she was back, I just wanted to impress her. I wanted her to see me as someone she could fall for again. So I did everything she asked, even when it wasn't fair anymore. But one day, I heard her tell new investors that everything was her idea, that she wrote the code. And when I heard that, I couldn't take it anymore. I clapped slowly and stood up during the meeting. "That's our Chelsea. Absolute genius, right? Clap for her." "Wade, what are you doing?" "Sit down. You're not supposed to talk." "Tell us, boss. I'm just a little confused. How did you get the algorithm to work so flawlessly?" Of course, Chelsea had no idea what I was talking about, and she was dumbstruck at the question. She abruptly ended the investors' meeting and ran away. That afternoon, she humiliated me in front of the other employees. "How dare you embarrass me like that? I am your CEO. You are stripped of your COO position. From now on, you'll be nothing but a programmer." I went home defeated. But as I was pulling up to my mom's house, I saw a Bugatti parked outside. That car was more expensive than our house. A tall man with graying hair stepped out and shook my hand. Nice to meet you too, sir. But who are you? Ben Wallace. Just call me Ben. I'm Chelsea's father. Sorry to be blunt, sir, but what are you doing at my mom's house? He smiled. He asked me to step into his car, and we drove away. He told me he was tired of seeing his daughter throw his money away on parties and projects that she never saw through to the end. He suspected she was going to up and leave our company when she gets bored. He made me a deal, and I accepted. There was a startup conference in Silicon Valley. By all accounts, Chelsea should have let me go. Instead, she brought a bunch of our hottest employees. None of them were programmers or developers. They didn't do so well at the conference, but Chelsea was more focused on going to the after party. There, she met a businessman. This businessman was amazed with Chelsea's company. She claimed it was all her idea, and he was even more impressed. Chelsea began meeting with him regularly, almost every night. They would talk about business, and the man would inspire Chelsea with all his knowledge. He never revealed his identity, though. Why don't you tell me your name? I would love to get to know you. You're so mysterious. He was all Chelsea ever talked about for weeks. And I admit, I was starting to get really jealous. You should hear him talk, Wade. He's so inspiring. I realize I hadn't been the best CEO now. I really want to be like him one day. Do you know? He has a multi-billion-dollar company of his own. I wonder if he'd be interested in a merger. That would be amazing! But for all her talk, Chelsea never worked on changing for the better. She kept on spending the company's money on her selfish whims. She would go on shopping sprees, and she would throw extravagant parties to impress her investors. Meanwhile, I kept my head down, just trying my best to make up the money the company had lost. Until one day, we got into so much debt, Chelsea began getting involved with loan sharks and shady characters of our city's underworld. Why would you get involved with such people? We could get shut down! They could hurt you if they don't get paid in time! Shut up! Shut up! You don't get to talk to me like that! I'm your boss! I own this company! You're just my employee! Just her employee? And to think, we started this whole thing with her saying we were equal partners. Because she got mad at me, she hired someone else to manage me. It was humiliating. Not only had I lost my control of the company, I was now going to have to answer to some other stranger. Not to mention, she had hired some weirdo off of Craigslist. I heard she was some creepy girl who would voodoo the people she works with so they would do everything she wanted. What's worse was that I wasn't allowed to go into our new offices anymore. Chelsea had banished me back into my mom's garage. Our old office. And the new girl was going to have to stay there with me. And move into my mom's basement with me. It was tough living with Jen. She was a total slob. She was messy and always acted like a punk. She would make me change my code, even though it worked fine. Add to that, Chelsea won't stop plunging us into more and more debt. I was losing control of the company. And now, because of Chelsea's extravagance, we had no way to pay back the loan sharks. One day, some scary men came barging into Mom's garage. Are you Wade? Yes? Who are you? Jen, call 911! Relax. What do you mean, relax?
Your boss says you're the one responsible. You're the reason why we haven't got paid yet. So, pay up, or I'll break everything in this house.
No, please. I have no idea what you're talking about. Jen! Call the cops already! The thugs started tying me down to a chair, until suddenly, Jen started laughing. I said chill. They work for me. My dad loaned you guys the money on the condition I stay with you to keep an eye on you. She turned to the guys who were holding me down, and they let me go. He's not the one. You should talk to that annoying girl again. She's the real one you should be asking about the money. And just like that, the thugs left. I had so many questions, but I didn't dare ask. I just went to my room and got ready for the party that night. I called Chelsea's dad and his driver to pick me up, just as I did the many times I went to meet Chelsea at a party. An army of stylists and makeup artists worked on me. They transformed me. By day, I was a nerd you wouldn't even look at twice. But at night, I was the city's most mysterious millionaire playboy. The stylists put a wig on me, and they dressed me in the finest suit money could buy. I wore expensive shoes and a flashy watch. I was watching to find Chelsea at the gala they were holding in honor of the mayor's wife, when suddenly I heard a voice that was so familiar, I called out her name. Jen? Jen turned around in surprise, only she didn't seem like herself. Jen's hair was always messy. She always wore the same hoodie. But now, she was gorgeous. I had never seen her so feminine and delicate. What? Who are you? Wait. Wade? It's you, isn't it? Why are you dressed like that? And you have different hair. I barely recognize you. Why am I dressed like this? Why are you dressed like that? I had to tell her my secret. I had no choice. I told her that Chelsea's dad made me a deal. A deal to make her daughter fall head over heels for me. Well, for a mysterious millionaire playboy played by me, that is. To teach her a lesson. With Chelsea's dad's money, I turned into a desirable prince, and I had been meeting with Chelsea every night since. Well, that's complicated. Have you had any progress? Kind of. But you can't tell anyone. Please. As long as you don't tell anyone I'm a mob princess and that I actually own a dress. Deal. Wait. One more thing. You have to start dating me. I got flustered. I never expected her to say something like that. And I saw that Jen was completely serious. And I have to admit, I couldn't find a reason to say no. So I agreed. Jen and I kept our little secret from everyone. But Chelsea was beginning to suspect something was up. She would keep catching us laughing at some random thing when she would check up on us. And we were working way better together now. That was when weird things began to happen. Sometimes, when I was out with Jen, I would feel like someone was watching us. I would find these creepy little notes being left in and around the garage. They would say things like, "I know what you're doing," or "Stop flirting with her." Chelsea started showing up more and more at the garage, bringing food and making up random excuses for her being there. Even at night, when my alter ego would go on a date with her, she wouldn't show. And when I would hack her phone to check out where she was, I would find out that she was in a bush outside my mom's house. With Jen's help, I had full control of the company, and because Chelsea was spiraling with her jealousy, nobody was standing in my way anymore. I had full control of her as both myself, Wade, and as my nighttime alter ego. I could just wave my hands and I would finally be CEO. I could make the mafia go away with Jen's help. But before any of that could happen, something horrible stopped me in my tracks. One afternoon, I came home to find that Jen was missing. There was only a mysterious note left on her desk. It said, "You can't have her." I started sweating. Someone had taken Jen. What if it was the mafia? What if they found out I was dating their princess and they were onto me? Or what if it wasn't them and they suspected me of making her disappear? I could only imagine what they would do to me. I couldn't sleep that night. I had half a mind to withdraw all my money, get a fake passport, and move to some remote island in Vietnam. But then I realized they might come after my family.